day, Internet, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. I am your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Words, and happy Monday to everyone. Monday is like the new Friday for me. Where's my video? There I am. I'm feeling like it's the weekend. I got a new high. I feel like I'm going to celebrate a little. So I'm happy to see all of your awesome faces. This is the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. I want to get started real quickly, so let us get into business. This is episode number 60. We have done this for 60 weeks in a row. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. If you'd like to watch us on Facebook and YouTube, including a recording of tonight's show and our past recordings, look up Nuyorican Poets Cafe on Facebook and YouTube. We do this through Zoom. The number's on the left-hand side of your screen in case you are watching us from Facebook or YouTube. 279-995-364 is the number, 279-995-364. We'd like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, the Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. You too can support us with a tax-deductible donation at nuyorican.org/contribute or to our Cash App to Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Tonight's theme, they said about me. Ooh, we're going to hear some rumors. Hopefully we hear some poems about maybe even people who've heard like flattering rumors that you weren't so quick to correct, flattering rumors. It's nice when people are talking about you in a good way. Next Monday, our theme is Memorial Day. 2 weeks after, 2 weeks from today is going to be Kid You. I don't want to hear poems about you, but written from you as a kid. After that, rep your flag. As you can see, we have a bunch of future themes coming up. If you want to find out all of that and get ahead, you can follow all of that on my social medias. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on I said YouTube, right? Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Yeah, I said all of them. I am not on TikTok, sorry. Also, I've been doing all of the highlights. I've been also putting them on my YouTube, not just my Instagram. So make sure you go check that out. Poets, those of you who have signed up, poets, turn your camera on. We want to see your face as if we're at the open mic. Have your poem ready. We have a lot of people on the open mic list. We want to get to as many as possible. So please have your poem ready before I call you. You have 4 minutes to rock out. Please be courteous because, like I said, we have a lot of people signed up. We want to get to as many as possible. No censorship. Put the kids to bed or put your headphones on. You never know when you need to be prepared, just to let you know. After poets perform, you're going to see that we ask all of you in Zoom to unmute yourself so that you're loud and obnoxious, give people love. We do that at the open mic, so we want to do that here. Stick to the theme, but you don't have to. As always, every week we have a theme, but you don't have to stick to it. You don't have to follow it this time around. So with that being said, let me make sure I got everyone in here. Those who are on Zoom, please check the Zoom chat. I just put up the updated open mic list because we had 2 people who had to bow out. Sam Park, who hasn't rocked in a while. I was really eager to hear her. And Nick Paleologos is out. So I have moved up 2 people from the waiting list who we have never heard from before. And that starts with Vincent Madolo, who I don't think is here. I am looking, and I don't see Vincent here. I see my brother Chance, who's about to come in. Shout out to Chance. I see Jen Monique is here. I see Catman Bill is here. But I see Amanda is here. All right. But I do not see Vincent Madolo. Going once, going twice. Nope. Do I see him? No, I don't. Okay, so we're moving on, which means Catherine Bedan is going to start us off. Let me unmute Catherine. I see everyone is excited and clapping. Shout out to Chris Lopez for getting tonight started for us. Appreciate you as always, brother. Catherine, you know the deal. Let the people know where they can find you online.
I was hoping to start with Paul or Norm or someone. Oh my God, being first is so scary. Hi. Great to see you. I wasn't here last week because I am moving across country, so I'm going to be in and out, so just everyone knows. And so I'm going to read 2 short pieces, and they were really for last week, but they kind of fit in this week. And I'm now number 1. I was hoping to be number 2, which will be self-evident. So anyway, oh my God. Oh, you can reach me at my website, catherinebadan.com. Oh man, being first. It's okay. Take a breath, folks. Ready? Here we go. Junk food nirvana when you drive down any street. Junk food nirvana, so what do you want to eat? Junk food nirvana when you drive down any street. Let's get some junk food nirvana, so what do you want to eat? We got chicken, we got pizza, we got burgers, we got fries, we got pancakes, we got takeout, we got anything your heart desires. We could tango at Del Taco, do the waltz with Colonel Sanders. We could samba at McDonald's underneath their golden arches. Junk food nirvana when you drive down any street. Junk food nirvana, so what do you want to eat? We got hot dogs, we got tacos, we got ice cream, we got fries, we got sit down, we got drive-through, we got anything your heart desires. We could boogie at Bob's Big Boy and get down with Mr. Pizza. We could polka at House of Pancakes or go to Denny's for a chocolate milkshake. Junk food nirvana when you drive down any street. Let's get some junk food nirvana. So what do you want to eat? Okay, so that's part one. And of course it ends in this. I love my poop. Do you love your poop? Do you even pay attention to your poop? Well, if you don't, you should. I love my poop and I look at mine every day throughout the day, just to make sure I don't have colon cancer or anything. I think it's vital to look at one's poop, don't you? It tells you all about your health, no kidding. I observe my poop, viewing it as my own free health barometer, and it even gives me a daily I Ching reading. No, really. Sometimes I'll poop potent energy or synergy, and I know immediately it's going to be a good day to write. Other days I'll poop difficult beginnings or maybe subordinate, which I don't particularly like. Oh, come on, which I really hate, because I'll probably give up early and waste my whole day. But my favorites are sovereignty and grace, which I liken to a good omen or perhaps a good lay. Basically, though, I notice the ley lines of my poop. Are they in one harmonious straight line or broken up, crossing at extreme odds to each other, or bobbing straight up and down like little happy buoys? Hey, it's not that I'm a hypochondriac or anything, or even a germaphobe. Oh man, would that be something? Because I don't mind bald guides. Howie Mandel, here I come. Are you ready to meet your female doppelganger? But seriously, folks, how much do you love your poop? As much as I love mine? I don't think so. I doubt it very much, because no one, and I mean no one, could possibly ever love their poop as much as I. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Catherine. But yeah.
See why I wanted to be number two now? Get that? Number two? Oh, well.
That was fun.
Welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic, where sometimes we talk about poop. Catherine is not the first to do so, but the latest, and I loved it. Catherine Badin, Badin is how you spell her last name. Make sure you go check out her website, catherinebadin.com. She is also an awesome photographer. What a way to start off the evening. And now we get why she wanted to be number two, because she was talking about number two. But tonight, we tried to get her to be number two. We tried to put in Vincent Midolo, but he never showed up. So with that being said, we're going to our new number two, and that is DG Clearing. Let me unmute him. DG, you know the deal. Let the people know where they can find you online.
It is so good to be here, Advocate. You can find me at DG Clearing somewhere on the net. So I have one poem for you tonight. Catherine, good luck on your move. My secret place. Craig and Lenny came over to play that day. We lived next to a great field in the middle of the city. It had to be a mile wide and 2 miles long, with tall grass, swamps, a small lake, and trees. We would spend hours out there looking for snakes and grasshoppers, little moles in the grasses, raccoons in the brush. Once I found a dead skunk in a trunk and brought it home and hid it in the shed. We would find things that people left behind: tires, wires, barrels, paints, and concrete saints. There was one place that there would always be girly magazines. Every few weeks, there would be a new one. We made a fort about a quarter mile from there. We'd take some and bring them to our secret place that no one knew. Not our friends, our parents, or any of our family. Camouflaged in the cloak of branches, stems, and mud. It could not be seen through a spyglass or from a plane or from our homes or through the grass or through the forest or along the path. We had never seen naked girls before. Our sisters and our moms didn't look like that. We'd laugh and giggle and open the centerfolds, making fun of their boobs and wondering why they had hair down there. Our moms would always pack us lunch, bologna and American cheese on white bread, and a homemade cookie or a bar. We all had our canteens, so there was plenty of water and we wouldn't die of thirst. Late in the afternoon on a hot August day, both of them said that they had to go home and could not stay. There was so much more that I wanted to explore. I watched them as they marched out and through the door. The sound of their footsteps was soon gone, but then I heard the rustle of the grass, and I thought that they must be back. Was something wrong? Did they get bit by a snake, or did they have an ache? So I opened the door, and there stood a man. He said, "Be quiet, or I'll skin you and stuff you in a can." I tried to run. He grabbed my shirt, then lifted me to his face. His eyes were bloodshot, evil, and red, and his breath smelled like the dead skunk in my shed. Then he said he would kill me if I did that again. He knew my name and where I lived, so that I was a good boy and I had to give. Whimpering and crying, I did what he said, knowing no one would ever find me when I was dead. He said my name and my mother's too, saying if I ever said a word, he'd come back and he'd kill her too. I lied there and cried when he left, praying that he would not murder her, knowing I would not say a word. When I got home, she was alive. She asked if I was okay, and I said that a spider had bit my eye. She held me close and comforted me. When I was done crying, she put me in my bed and laid with me. The sun went down and the moon came up. I pretended to sleep and then cried in my dreams. Lenny and Craig ended up moving to another state. I have never gone back to that secret place. Mom's 63 now. She still does not know about the screams of my pain and the whimperings in my fort. That I will die with me like the skunk in my shed. They say that I'm a quiet man. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give some energy to DG Clear.
That was beautiful, man.
Love DG.
Great job,
Thank you.
DG.
Appreciate
Good
that.
job.
Oh, my God.
Nice storytelling, DJ. Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
I think that is like the most emotional we've seen DG Clear and get. We've seen him get amped and upset, but like to be like this vulnerable is awesome. And DG Clearing is one of the most active members of our community. So to see that he's still, he's still got some like tricks up his sleeve, as they say. I would never want to, knock his poem, be like, oh, it's just a trick, because it's not. But for lack of a better term, he still got some tricks up his sleeve. He still got some sides to him we haven't seen, and he's still revealing. It's awesome. DG, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate you as always. And of course, I appreciate this next poet we're coming up, Diane Ward. Happy to have Diane be part of our community as always. Let me unmute her. Diane, let the people know where they can follow you or can't follow you, and then let's hear your poetry.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yep, hear you loud and clear.
Okay. You can find me here and sometimes at Bronx Art Fun Hub, but you can find me here. I try to be on every Monday, and I am going to write to a previous prompt, laughter. Start with what makes me smile. Dig into that thought, theory, to find my funny bone. Continue with smart sarcasm, pithy verbiage. Add a dose of mirth or double entendre. Consider mood change or abrupt twist to the punchline. Bind in a deadpan soundtrack that will either disgust or thrill me, and heighten the suspense by waiting for the other shoe to drop. Do not disappoint. Laughter is hard to come by unless you find the humor in yourself, which is there, and we need to tap. So laugh, silly, recklessly, ticklishly, somber laughter. Does that exist? Oh, yes. The I'm losing it laughter, on the edge, the I'm done laughter. So be specific. I have had enough. It's over the edge. Mad scientist laughter is not a frequent but familiar laughter, a compensation, a release from the tension of disappointment or constant unrelenting absurdity of a situation. Do not pretend you don't know that laughter. It can start as a small, low register growl at the back of your throat or at the edge of your epiglottis or like a hiccup or a gurgle, so you know it. Then you snap out of it and reconsider what you can do instead that is constructive, like right now. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Diane Ward.
Diane Ward.
Woo!
Diane.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I'm
Woo.
done laughter.
Always. Very lovely.
That was dope.
For lightning.
I love it. I love it. I love it. The different types of I'm done type laughter. Yes, been there, done that. Diane Ward, such a treasure to have her as part of our community. Thank you to Ron Mark Thompson for introducing her to us. She's one of us now. Been one of us. Diane Ward. All right. Move forward. Next, we are going to Mr. Speaker. Let me unmute him. The general. No one wants to go to war with us because we got Mr. Speaker to lead us in the battle. I always say it every week. I love it. I love it. Mr. Speaker, let the people know where they can find you, and let's hear that fire, brother.
You can find me on all things Mr. Speaker, Facebook, IG. Let's go. What people say. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mr. Speaker. So let me get this out. When you check the records, you will see I'm that man Salt and Pepper once rapped about. Let me put it in a nutshell and tell you what the people say with just a little bit of a twist. Hold on to your seats as I run it down like this. See, I'm a spiritually grounded out front leader and an expert logistician, skilled, motivated, excessively educated, and gifted mathematician. I'm 100% fit to fight, a combat veteran certified expert with either hand, deadly sniper, African heritage, widely traveled in yo, baby. That's right. I'm an all-American. Arrogant, possibly conceited, maybe feared, better be respected, definitely paid, happy to get the poetically, jock, formally, confident, extremely blessed, both spiritually and physically, strapped always, loop, everyday hero, some say, on target all day, standing tall, not afraid, run. No way. Then I heard Elemental, Ray Jane, Paul, and Advocate say, does Mr. Speaker have bars tonight? Darn right. See, I am a hard hitter, a head splitter, constant spitter, seldom quitter, spoken word transmitter. Ask the people and you will see I spit educational bars continuously, spilling ink, killing trees, delivering hopes and liberties, uplifting spirits, get off your knees, mentally, not sexually. Stand up straight so you can breathe. Close your eyes and see colors, love, joy. Honestly, read between the lines and actually, right there, baby, that's where you're going to find the best poetry. In peace.
Mr.
Give it up.
Yes,
Yes, Speaker.
Good, baby.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker. Woo! Fantastic.
Was horrible.
Oh, we heard at the end, Chance tried to come in and say that it was horrible. He's just mad because my name was mentioned in his poem and not Chance. Mr. Speaker, you can look him up. MrSpeakerInc.com. When you spell ink, it's INK, as if you're writing with ink. MrSpeakerInc.com. Appreciate you, brother. And I appreciate you extra because you upset Chance. That's great. That's great when you can write a poem that upsets Chance, and I like it. Michael Sindler is next. Let's stop picking on my brother Chance. Love you, bro. Michael Sindler, let the people know where they can find you online or what you want to promote.
You're gonna actually stop messing with Chance, huh? Okay, I guess that's okay. I'm just putting a bunch of stuff up here. I got some things I'm headlining. They call me Mitch, and Fincabulary, the lovely Trish's open mic, and put up the Love Letters to Guy anthology, which a bunch of people here are in, and it's a great thing. All the proceeds go to 350org, which is an environmental group. And I really want to remind everybody about lighthousewriters.org and the fact that LitFest is coming up, and it's just so wonderful. Just really can't recommend it enough. That being said, I am going to go ahead and do something that I haven't done for a long time. This is called Expired Tickets Memento Mori. These tickets aren't for a prayer wheel. There's no payout, just more time in the jail cell of a cranium crammed with corroded thoughts. There's a skull and a skull for each explanation you bought without waiting to find out where it came from or if it was dangerous, if it would lead to mayhem. Tickets clicking through your teeth like a dry tongue, ripped off one by one, song sung, bell rung, ideas dancing like a rat on a spinning wheel, every step like the last leading nowhere. Once the ticket roll runs out, what will there be? Who's the master of the show? Violins hum from the bow, often open lips hang empty with no answer, feet step to the tune, one trick dancer. There's no question, so don't ask me. There's no refund when you get in free. Easy entry with a push, the lights so bright, the long, slow exposition of the story, brief candle illuminates the shadow play, flicker of time till it sputters and expires. One ticket only, one performance, signifying nothing. Sold out before anyone knew what was coming. Can't find the exit, but it's always straight ahead. Between each pregnant pause, we circle round instead, always madly questioning. Out of mind is out of head. A hand grasp says, alas, the circling of a coil. A walking shadow of a jester revolves but never resolves. Expectation of expiration. Disappointment without termination. Where is anywhere that could be there and done? Seems there's none. And do something a little bit more recent, I guess. I'll do this one. I have been doing it a lot, but not here. It's called Fuse with Light. Do not be afraid. Life will grow in filth. Life will stretch fresh branches out, clothe itself in leaves. Do not be afraid. Life will burst from shadows into sweet petals, draw grace from muck, transform waste into wonder. Do not be afraid. Drop seeds are not lost. Barren fields give way to forests. Mists fuse with light. Do not be afraid. Okay, thank y'all.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Michael Sindler.
Yes.
As always, Sandler.
Don't be afraid.
Work, Michael.
Don't be afraid.
Thank you, Mike.
Michael Sindler, a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. You cannot find him online. He gives fits to the CIA trying to track him. It's difficult, but if you're here every Monday, you can find him. And check out lighthousewriters.org. He constantly promotes it. Apparently, he's throwing them under the bus to the CIA. With that being said, let us move forward. We have a new voice coming up next because Sam Park was supposed to rock out, but Sam Park had to bail out, and Sam was like, give it to someone on the waiting list who we have not heard from yet. And this woman signed up last week, but I think she dipped out at the end when we were about to call her. I hope I say her name right. Is it Jahan Sinay Worthy?
Yes, Jahan Sinai Worthy.
Sinai Worthy. Yeah, I got it right, Jahan. Where are you located?
I'm in Jersey City.
Oh, now the CIA knows where to find you too. Great. Okay, Jahan. So in case you haven't seen, first you let the people know where they can find you online if you want to be found online. And then you have 4 minutes to do your poetry. Welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for welcoming me. I'm on Instagram, Jahan Sinai, and I'm also on Medium as Jahan Sinai as well. So thank you again. This is a poem that I wrote called De Chanel. He loved red, but I saw blue behind his eyes that matched. And in those eyes I fell after many years of friendship, time spent chained from that of quarreling kids, bickering in the back seat of a school bus to grown-ups engaged in restaurant romance. He pulls out my chair, a surprising chivalrous gesture from a rugged woodsman I never expected. Jasmine candles lit in the middle of the table to set the mood. Chocolate, nutmeg, and mint catering to our taste buds after we have eaten our meal. His lips I soon loved to kiss, skin against skin, his with hints of sandalwood and frankincense. Games played on windy days by the tennis courts, to my love's arms wrapped around me every night, unveiling love spoken with each embrace. Don't leave me, each demanded. Stay with me forever, each embrace commanded. Memories of which left me so in love, years after I severed us. Each hug comfortably secure and steadfast, though comfortably honest, but pained with fear of abandonment, never provided shield from his anger that lingered more powerfully than potent patchouli plants and viscous laden lingering in your nose after you've sniffed it. Though comfortably warm and snug, couldn't protect me from his tongue that ripped as violently as one of those episodes that threw him from his bed those few nights he was alone. Maybe those awful words were reasons his tongue was sore when he awoke, disguised as the physical and mental sickness he dealt with by not being able to get off the drug. I told him no man-made or earthly remedy could cure his torment and rage, trauma-informed, like a persistent stinging caused by lemon or grapefruit dripping on a cut. The way ginger persists on your tongue and the inside of your cheeks, trauma doesn't go until you have dealt with all of it. Making nutmeg, chamomile, and cedar tea to calm his nerves. Velvet vetiver oil through his hair, touches to let him know he's not alone. He saw red, then I felt blue. His anger never ceased. On the street, feet to feet, scuffles with strangers, broken car windows, his arms that held me comfortably went straight through glass. Later that night, I catered to his bleeding hands. Though hugs were still comfortably secure, though comfortably warm and snug and pained with fear of abandonment, never provided shield from his anger that lingered like velvet vetiver down my throat. Stuck there even now, and though his words came through his mouth, they swelled mine, suffocating me like when I have eaten fruit from a pink pepper tree. Can't we go back to being quarreling kids, back in the school bus, bickering, games played on windy days by the tennis courts, laughing and teasing before we were us, memories of which left me so in love, years after I severed us, but with those memories, emotions, a carousel, I am also left with each time he saw red when I smelled blue. De Chanel. Thank you.
Unmute yourself, give
Wow.
some energy.
Oh,
You gotta come.
to
You are one of
Back
us.
to Han.
Yes.
Welcome back to Han.
Damn, you gotta come back.
You family now.
Yeah.
Last name worthy. She is worthy. Are we worthy? You have to come back now. As you see, listen, poets, after you perform, make sure you check the chat, including you, Jahan, because a lot of people are saying beautiful things about you. So you can scroll up. They're saying you're one of us, which means that you have to give up all of your Monday night romance dates at restaurants and come hang out with us. Jahan Sinai Worthy. I'm so happy we were able to get her on. All right. Because I know some people come late, and because we're gonna need a little break from that that poem, she bowled us all over. So real quick, want to just remind people who are checking in, you were checking in on the Monday night online open mic presented by the New York Poets Cafe, hosted by me, Advocate of Words. When you look me up, you spell words with a Z, W-O-R-D-Z, you know, poetic license. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are streaming live on Facebook, and YouTube. Look up New Rican Poets Cafe on Facebook and YouTube, and you can find the recording of tonight's show and our previous shows on our Facebook and YouTube. Or you could join us on Zoom. The number is the same every week, 279-995-364. If you want to sign up, our sign-up list opens up 24 hours before the show, Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You go to newrican.org and you would click on full events calendar. You just have to scroll down a little and you will see it. Then you would click on the Monday you're signing up for. So next week, Sunday at 8 p.m., you would click on May 31st and you would get an artist RSVP ticket. It's the only way to sign up. If you do not see that option, it means it hasn't opened up yet, although we have been opening up on time at 8 o'clock on the dot. I'm very happy about that. And if you see it sold out, that means you probably got on at 8:03 because only within a few minutes it closes up in a few minutes. Before it just used to be a few seconds, but now it takes a few minutes. I am offended at how long it is taking. The Withdrawn is next. Let us keep going before I start sobbing, thinking about old days. The Withdrawn, let the people know they can follow you online. And let's hear your poetry, brother.
Thank you. Y'all can follow me at The Withdrawn on Instagram and thewithdrawn.com. And this piece I have is called Let Poets Down, inspired by J. Cole's Let Nas Down. And shout out to Gino for inspiring me to finish this too. Wellness or quit, chips inserted, a phone is going off, same time, but mind is mushing, got no one to accept. As far as poetry go, it's only right though, I illustrate my mental and also what's behind my shame. Long live the poets I've met. May they hear this and hopefully one day understand. The community I have the pleasure in being a part of has embraced the many different shapes and sizes I come. I thank you for all of that. But sometimes the angles you see me in are a lot more deformed than what they appear to be. It hurts my heart to want to support writing by buying your books. But the truth is, my obsessive compulsive disorder makes it very difficult for me to read. I've got so many books I bought with intentions to dedicate time to. But instead, they've ended up stacked under my desk. Wondering when I'll finally be able to open up my world to that new adventure. I'm curious to know if I stole a read from someone who could have benefited from that book on the shelf that I grabbed. Sometimes I stay stuck on the same page for minutes, flipping back and forth to try to remember what I just read. And when I don't remember, I get trapped in the cycle of reading backwards, going over the same lines. Sometimes 3, 6, 12 times. Those are my magic numbers. Repeatedly DMing me new shit after new shit makes me anxious. I'm down to check out the pieces. I really am. It's the spamming for me, though, that throws me off. Flooding my inbox might get you blocked, especially if I respectfully ask you to stop. Not accepting my boundaries is only a reflection of the respect you have for me. When I end up breaking my own, where does the respect go that I have for myself? Open mics are so much fun to attend, but I can't enjoy them when I'm not in a space to give. Most days I need to myself. Am I wrong to expect understanding when it revolves around my mental health? Sometimes I say yes to invitations when I should probably say no. Those are the times I end up getting hurt the most. Just like that one meme, you may get a response from me within 3 to 5 business days. Because it's really not 24/7 that I sit on my device here chilling. I feel bad all the time when I be missing out on events. And I'm sorry for that. But please don't use that as an opportunity to come at my neck. Today, I don't have the energy to stay up as late anymore, especially on work nights. About 11 is my cutoff. If I'm pushing it, maybe midnight. Social media and my phone depletes my energy more than anyone will ever know. So I ask that you please venerate my space when I'm set to protect it. There's really no need to sterilize my own words, because I'm used to the things I say or do being taken out of context. That's life though. Just know there's never any hard feelings on my end. I just sometimes feel like I let the poets down because I can't deliver what they expect of me. Thank you.
Unmute yourself, give some energy to the withdrawal.
Let's go, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
On every level.
Honest man.
So true.
So withdrawn, we call them the wild card because you never know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to need some soap and water to wipe out your ears after hearing his dirtiness, or if you're going to need some tissues to dab the tears of your heart because he like so vulnerable, opens up at the chest, his soul to us. Thewithdrawn.com or at The Withdrawn on social media. Appreciate you very much, brother. And The Withdrawn is like the most active member we have at the New Eureka Poets Cafe. So hopefully that is a sign that we are creating a space that is comfortable and safe, and he's coming out to, and he's having these feelings. I hope everyone feels that way, and that's why I get offended when it takes like a minute and a half for our sign-up list to be filled up. Alexander Goldberg is next. Keep the energy up. Where is the Goldberg? Let me unmute him. Alex, as always, let the people know where they can find you online, and then the floor is yours.
Find me online at Anagon15 on Twitter and Gorbensky on Instagram. So I'm trying to keep the energy going. So this piece is called The Art of Modesty. I'll start to read with your permission. History is my job. It didn't give me recognition that I really want. Being a poet is my calling. That's what makes me glad. They talk about my work so often. This is what they said. They said about me, I'm the one with fire in my verses. They said I read and know so much, I should be teaching courses. They said I'm full of energy and I hype up the crowd. My poetry is heavenly. I'm making noise worldwide. They said about me, I should be among some of the greats. They said my poems should be known beyond United States. They said my name should be inscribed in gold capital letters in history of poetry and all art for that matter. They said about me when I read, the audience applauds. They said I should be president and I would get their votes. They said about me I should go to Netherlands and France. They said that when I sing my songs, I make the people dance. They said about me, I'm the GOAT, I reach top of the charts. They said that they know my work is dope soon as my poem starts. They said I am sensational, the one who brings the glee. The other poets say they honor just to work with me. They said about me, I'm the winner and I cannot lose. They said about me how they dreamed that they were in my shoes. They said I put my heart and soul in everything I do. I'm humble, but I wonder now, what if their words are true?
Unmute yourselves and give it up for the gold.
Wow, nice.
Very nice.
Go.
True. It's all true.
Fantastic.
It's very nice.
I love it when he started talking about being president. I was like, wait, he's talking about our community, or at least I'm injecting us in there. Alexander Goldberg, a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic, representing the West Coast of America. Appreciate you as always, Alexander. I love this community. Next coming up, I don't know what her poem is going to be about, but I am extra happy to have her here, and I appreciate her because she was hanging out in my brother's backyard, Chance's backyard, and didn't tell him to hang out. I love it. He felt so distant. I was like, yes. And we're going down to Ray Jane. Hi, Ray Jane, back from vacation. Good to see you. Let the people know where they can find you to hear your poetry.
Hey man, what's up? Greetings, family. First of all, thank you for allowing me to share your space. Chance, you already know what it is. Why are you out here telling stories about me, bro? You told me you was gonna come by and then you didn't even say nothing. So if we really gonna air it out, let's hear it out, okay? Anyhow, got 2 new pieces for you. Want to hear? Here you go. First one is called Bad Bits. My name ain't Ray Jane, but I'm raging. What I'm trying to say is I live outside my names. I live in many definitions at once, including the fucked up ones, the not so nice, the not so right, the not so good, the not so ready. I got a whole lot of whole field of bad dreams, bad things, bad thoughts. In certain parts of me, I am perfectly sinister, darkening my magic, using it for ill, sometimes in my mind. But then they never talk about how a child of God could also be able to concoct sin. And then another one for you. Cursing at the ports. Stuffed my black grandma under the bed she was raped in. Don't give me no shit about secrets. You keeping my whole DNA in your hand. Same palm over my face, shading me from nothing but darkening me and slapping me for my hue. Fandango dancing in my ancestors' shoes, pouring salsa on your favorite victuals while excluding my hips from your ballrooms. Deep under the drums, you drown me out, trying to dilute my Africanness, dropping S's to define me, remove my softness, etching me out from your society, all the while at your harbors, licking sweat from my daddy's beard, checking for his salt, his depth from death. He and they surviving just to die, diving for the corals necessary to build a demon's portals, ports promising nothing but invisibility, attacked senses still able to smell sweet, moko moko, mofongo, fufu, yuca, black can't be boiled out, rooted in flavor. The younger will taste free. Before any Mayflower could place Plymouth Rock on a black back, fooled and sheepishly donning wolf's disguise. There are seas between my branches. Attempting to align, I slay scattered, gouged eyes, feeling my way, stripping off the wheat they claimed was worth its wealth, cackling at the cotton, though my silks have always been gift of earth, digging into ethos. Anubis guiding my pen, Ogun making me machete, rejecting incomplete definitions to rise whole and once again mighty.
Unmute yourselves, give some energy to Ray.
Damn, Ray Jane. That bullshit right there, Ray Jane. That's that bullshit. Let me tell you.
Maybe I need to go on vacation and I can write some more poems like that. That fire. Ray Jane, you can check out her website. It's rayjane.com. There you get to her SoundCloud where there's like 6,000 different recordings of her poems that you can check out, pictures, all that stuff. It's rayjane.com. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate seeing you. And I was so happy when Chance was complaining that you were down there and he didn't see you. Ha ha, Chance. All right, let's keep moving forward. We're now going to cross the border. That's right. We're going to Canada. What we're going to call Mr. Jeff Cottrell. Jeff, let the people know where they can find you online, and let's hear your work, brother.
All right, I can be found at jeffcottrell.com and easily found on Facebook and Twitter. And yeah, I've got some new shit, and you can judge for yourself how well this fits the theme tonight. It's called Lazy Book Reports. The best part in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is when the monster cries, "I am Frankenstein," and then he goes and kills and eats everybody because he's pure evil. The best part in Bram Stoker's Dracula is when the vampire says, "Blah, blah, I want to suck your blood," and then he goes and sparkles all over the place and counts everything he sees. The best part in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice is when the mother says to her daughter, "Rich men always want to get married," and then the daughter goes and marries that guy because he's so rich and handsome. The best part in William Shakespeare's Hamlet is when the prince holds up the skull and proclaims, "To be or not to be," and then he goes and gets shit done because he's a badass who gets results. The best part in T.S. Eliot's The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock is when the guy sings his beautiful love song, and then all the women come and go, and he just can't get away from them because he's a hot stud full of mojo. The best part in Bernard Shaw's Man and Superman is when Superman swoops down and saves the man from General Zod, and then everybody cheers because it's so exciting. No talk, all heart-stopping action. The best part in Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-5 is that awesome callback to Slaughterhouse-3, which was the best one in the series because it had all those cool battle scenes and heroes who kick ass and say, "That's the way it goes." The best part in Tennessee Williams' A Streetcar Named Desire is when the dude runs out and screams, "Stella! Stella! I love you, Stella!" And then she goes and gives him a smooch, and it's all so sweet and romantic. The best part in Charles Dickens' David Copperfield is when the man calls out to the crowd, "I am the hero of my own life." And then he goes and does more cool magic tricks, and all the orphans cheer and cry, "I want some more." The best part in William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet is when the girl stands on the balcony and calls, "Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?" And then he goes and jumps out and says, "Here I am," and they live happily ever after forever. The best part in Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion is when the flower girl dances and sings, "The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain." And then she goes and falls in love with the professor because they're so perfect for each other. And the best part in Sesame Street's The Monster at the End of This Book is when the big scary monster eats Grover at the end. Thank you. That was Lazy Book Reports.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Jeff.
Nice job. Very nice.
So
Yes,
entertaining.
yes.
What a compilation.
Always so entertaining to have Jeff on. He's always got so much energy. JeffCottrell.com. When you spell Cottrell, that is with 2 L's. JeffCottrell.com. He is a theater head. That's how I look at it. Music theater head. I cannot wait till all the theaters are opened up, man. Because as much as I love having Jeff on every Monday night, I know he's just itching to get on a stage and rock out. JeffCottrell.com. Make sure you look him up. And the best part of the Monday night online open mic, I want to say it's me, but it's not. It's you guys. So let's keep it moving. Unmesh Mohitkar is next. Oh, I just lost him. I saw him. Where is, oh, there he is. Let me unmute Unmesh Mohitkar, our brother who is up early in the morning to be with us because he's on the other side of the world from us in India. Unmesh, let the people know where they can find you, your published book, and then let's hear your poetry, brother.
Hello, Advocate. Hello, everyone. You can find me on Unmesh Mohitkar Instagram and FB. I've got a book, Light Shadow Life, on Amazon. And I've got an open mic every Saturday, 8 p.m. India time. I'll put the links. So here we go. So the first one is called What Will People Say? Who are they? What are they? What they want? Stop their rant. Why they chant, respect scant, stop, I say, they go on and on, leave me, free me, release me from their clutches. Me filled with glitches, demons in mind, nothing but is fine, refuse to bend and whine. My smile still so kind. Why they control, why they punish, why are they powerful, why are they beautiful? Am I nothing? Am I fading? Refuse to slack. I will be back. Mark my words, note the time. I will be fine. History will remind. I will be fine. History will remind. So the first one, there are a few short ones. Cassette film. Cassette film tied across lonely farm. Cassette film tied across lonely farm, wind rubbing vigorously to play forgotten song. Wind rubbing vigorously to play forgotten song. Next one, neither left nor right. Neither left nor right or central. I am abandoned horizontal with no sides. This is the last one. Central to life is death. Central to life is death. We run away from life, scared of death. We run away from life, scared of death. Thank you. Thanks a lot. You guys are fabulous. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up.
Good mesh. Yeah.
Yes,
Very
Umesh.
nice.
Yes.
Good job.
Love to hear you
Umesh.
read, brother. I love it.
Dope, Umesh. Dope, man.
I love Unmesh's energy, man. He could read the phone book and I would be here for it. He just got so much energy. I wonder if Unmesh can move without talking, right? Because every time he talks, he like moves so much. I wonder if the two are connected. I love this man's energy. Look him up. Unmesh Mohikar. He is a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. I am so happy that he is a morning man and gets up to hang out with us. Next coming up is a lady who's very sweet, because she's got her hands in a lot of cookie jars. And that is Trisha De Jesus. She hosts her own podcast, her own open mics, workshops, and she's always blessing us here in the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Trisha, let the people know where they can find you, and then let's hear your wonderful work.
Good evening. You could find me on Instagram at Finn_Bell, PHYNNE_BELLE. I also wanted to share that I have a showcase with spoken word online, formerly Spoken Word Paris, with the wonderful and inspiring Lantern Carrier. Also on Thursday, I have my poetry games again. So guys, check it out, please. Okay. You catch my iridescence as it fans out, and your envy expands its wake. You gouge all my edges off. Remold me to look as you do. Divide my mystery and make it into legs that flounder. You feed me bowl, my own cauda sirena. The pain of separation, a puny hope of my submission. You dream amidst plaintive lost at sea, wailing that I will soften upon your palm before you burn me on the kiln. There is not enough of your feeble fire to combust me, to consume me. I am not clay doll siren, replicate and confine along with your curio on the shelf to collect dust while you splice your own two limbs and not see the phases of the moon mark time upon your forehead. I forgot myself, how my shipwreck incantations lulled. I was human, I was your putty. I wanted to bleed out all my spell casting in my pearl encrusted tears. but that would have been a sin to the pores of my unseeing eyes. Defying you in this way while you spin your pottery wheel, looking off into the distance. There is not enough of your feeble fire to combust me, to consume me. Whilst you raise your tiny villages and claim your Lilliput castles, have you seen me slay the Kraken and pivot my sister the ocean in my rage? I am swaying with the same movement of the temperate waves of the boats that hum along with the tropical breeze. Take heed before my placid waters engulf and swallow you.
Ooh, unmute yourselves, give some energy.
That was a Trissa. Yes, yes. Bring it on.
Lord Vaughn in the building. Daughter of Krypton. Let's go.
Thank you, Trissa.
Trisha De Jesus, Finn_Bell. You need to look her up, follow this woman, okay? And what you need to do is you need to go rewatch her poem. Make sure you look up New Rican Poets Cafe on Facebook and YouTube. This is where this show will be recorded. You'll be able to go, and because I already know that I too, like, wait, there's more references there that I missed. That's why I always do, especially as host, because I got one eye on stuff behind the scenes, one eye on you guys. I go back and I watch all the stuff and I see like, oh, I picked up things I didn't before. Make sure you do that. And also shout out to Trisha De Jesus. She was in our latest highlight reel that went up this morning. Don't forget to follow me at Advocate of Words. You spell words with a Z at the end, and you will be able to see every Monday morning I put up the highlight reels. I actually think that Trisha has been in the last 2 highlight reels we have done. She's becoming like, oh, 3. She said 3. She's been like 3. She's like, Advocate, you're embarrassing me now. You're putting me in all the highlight reels. The same thing that happened with Elemental. Okay, let's keep moving forward. Now, Paul con queso, Paul con headliner, the only man who cares the fact that I had shaved the beard as he trimmed his down in unison. Actually, shout out to Ray Jane and Trisha, who held a virtual memorial for the beard. But Paul con queso, now, brother, let the people know where they can find you online, and let's get to the fire.
Y'all can find me at Paul Con Queso on IG and Linktree. You can also find me on Finn Bell. She did a wonderful, lovely interview with me for the Poets Lighthouse on Saturday night. So please seek that out. Poetry Global Network, the incomparable Finn Bell. So much love. Storm God's in the building. There's Thunder Gathering, Voltron Rising. Just so much love to this community. Yeah, all right. So this piece, I'm gonna have to sing twice tonight. So I'm nervous about that because my amateur karaoke skills are gonna get tested, but let's go. This is called They. Yeah, sometimes I heap shit on myself like fertilizer. Compost, hate the me and reflect because it's reflex like hitting patella with that small rubber hammer at your general practitioners. That mule thrust kicks, a muscle memory clutching, violent stomps to spine from navel to plunge in guts, solar plexus corseted in knots, like getting caught in the act of masochism. But listen, more often than not, what they say about you is just a record skip. Big project, that pre-ejaculate jack and slip into familiar orifices, falling into holes of our own orphanage. But see, around here, I don't half check, I won't half step on the stage. Am I vulnerable as a whole flex? I fuck up, yes, but if I own shit, ain't that progress? Word is, I'm every fucking kind of cheesy, un quesito, suavecito, hable muchito. Like I can really last with this oral delivery. Maybe too long though, take one spot and stretch it to 7. Go until you're passed out for 11. Make a wish on celestial. It's both a gift and a curse to be so blessed to pull all day and nighters, igniting lines like butane lighters left in smoldering infernos of irony. Set fire to phantom selves. I mean, why don't we? Demons say you ain't healed enough. Call your bluff. Yet I am working toward packing away the storage space grief, but do I need to be entirely decompartmentalized just to be my own peace? Can I be in pieces and piece shit together like a gorgeous centrifuge of wounds? Ain't I blessed too? Who says anyone can't be work in progress and help others too become their own refuge? You do know no one has to accept you, even if they expect you to be some type of way. Simply at times your seeds won't align and you pass like ships drenched in night, never truly colliding. But who's to say any path where you learn is calamitous? Titanic, shit. We are blessed to even have half a bow to stand upon and bow for crowds who can testify we are flawed, but God, if we aren't genuine. Some days I slip, and I'll be honest, these lessons surfacing hit deeper than rock bottom because from these heights I've climbed, the initial thwack on impact feels more the upside down than seventh circle of hell. And with demigorgons already feasting on my insecure needs, trauma responses, tantrums, and broken bits, but I will fuse the fractured parts of this fuselage. The indomitable black box of this heart won't metronome in the dark for long. They say it's a heartbreak anniversary, which hurts the worst, you see, when the wreckage of memory makes survivor eye contact with you, turning you souvenir. And I get like this every time. On these days, it feels like you and me. Heartbreak anniversary. 'Cause I remember every time. On these days, it feels like you and me. Heartbreak anniversary. Do you ever think of what it's like to feel a walking piece of incomplete? My shadow said very much about, but rarely to me. I get you, demons. You do you, I'll do me. Because there are times that I forget I am demigod, pagan deity, warrior, wading through millennia of mutilate. Yet I stand as human too. Do I contradict? Then fuck it, I contain multitudes. See, cheese can be salty, sweet, spicy, smooth, and I deserve to tap into all these moods. Slice me, cut me, splay me on table to be paired with wine or grapes and any other edible seeds, sticks, pits. I got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh yeah, shit. I get my weed from California. That's that shit. I took my chick up to the north, yeah. Badass bitch. I get my light right from the source, yeah. Yeah, that's it. And I say, yo, the way I breathe you in is the texture of your skin. I wanna wrap my arms around you, baby, never let you go. Oh, and I say, oh, there's nothing like your touch. It's the way you lift me up. And I'll be right here with you till the end. Self-confidence, contemporaries say his head is full, shit is big. Actual factual though, I need that container dome to hold this brain alone requires mental magnums for mind sex sessions, thought sparring, raw dogging, hope. Choosing the light straight from source. Every day I wake up when I could so easily evaporate back in a dark portal of harmful doubt. Hash mark arms with X-Acto knife and tic-tac-toe line up my own demise. Like so many friends, keeping to their Google Calendar meets with death. But that part of me they said was me is already perished. He left the second I stopped my boot down at last, and from his decomposed remains grew this entire orchard of peach, weeping willows, and even more ornate horticulture of faith. So the next time they say some shit about you that's true, just know it's a piece you can improve, a facet you don't need to hold on to. Remember that sometimes you have to shed some dead foliage before the evolution, where roots will reach skyward like praise for the phoenix of each new day's rising. This is to say that after you molt those lamented versions of who they rightfully said you were, there's nothing they can say of you anymore that will hurt a you that's no longer you.
Unmute yourselves. Give some love to Paul.
Wow.
He's a monster.
Holy shit, baby Jesus.
Get out of here with all of that.
Ah,
I know.
Make sure you give Paul a follow at Paul con Queso. He's also a teacher. Paul con Karaoke. That's going to be his new nickname. Make sure that you give this dude a follow. And I hope he's hosting his workshops again, man, or he starts it up. And so give him a follow and harass him about that. All right. Before we start harassing Paul about that, let's get to our next poet. Andy Markert. Let me unmute Andy. Andy, you know the deal. Let people know they can follow you. Let's hear your poetry.
Y'all can find me on Instagram at Andy Meerkat. This poem is too long tonight to fit into this block, so if you want to see the entire thing, join me at Barbed Wire Open Mic Series, where I will perform both parts of this poem because it's worth hearing. This is called White Ninja Vanish. It is midnight, standing at a grocery store checkout counter, 2 packs of Camels in front of a register, because the only joy I find is in my own slow suffocation, and I can only breathe air when it is on fire. Some things never change. A car horn honks in the parking lot, the lark heralding that I need to hurry the fuck up. I am 19 years old. I glance at the checkout clerk. His face is white as a sheet. I swear to God, I can hear him tremble. My $10 sits untaken. It's you. My God, it's you. Just take them and go, please. I don't want any trouble. I promise, I promise, I promise. I won't tell a soul. I search his eyes and curse myself. I cannot remember faces of the people I have harmed. Perhaps that is a mercy. I wonder what I've done to him. There are things I do not want to remember. Do I know you? I ask, hoping against hope he does not answer. You are the white ninja, aren't you? I am 15 years old. The end rings like church bells through my body. My mind passed to a delirium now. My misery is at its crescendo. The breakdown of my body is now a work of art. My Sistine Chapel of self-hatred. I run the fastest that I ever will. I am so close to dying. I am almost happy about it. I wander through a suburban neighborhood of cookie-cutter houses and manicured lawns that hide the ghosts of nuclear families, searching for my friend Mike. Mike does not live in this neighborhood. Mike is not my friend. I find a house, party raging, cars parked on the front lawns, music playing into the street, gorgeous colonial windows in the front, perfectly manicured holly bushes finish a statement of upper class achievement. I want to burn it down. I do not know these kids. I do not understand their games with ping pong balls and laughter. I haven't laughed in a very long time. I see only prey now. My body a shark looking for the one I'll sink my teeth into, the money I will make, the things I can take. I have forgotten about Mike. The key to walking into anywhere I find is walking into anywhere like you've already sacked it, like every inch of it has been taken by you already. I have become the barbarian horde. I smile at a girl whose eyes linger, cold and hollow and willing ball of self-hatred. She knows. I know. Two apex predators in a room can tell each other out. We compare for a moment our masterpieces of pain behind one another's eyes. She nods. I nod, and she leads me deeper into the house. I swipe a bottle of something as I pass through the kitchen. Why not when everything is mine? I take note of where the TVs are, computers, pictures. I do so love my shiny things. She leads me to the backyard and I have found my quarry, those baby stoners with bright eyes and mellow vibes, too inexperienced to know better, too eager to seem tough. I clock the weakest one. She leads me to a dark corner of the yard. I hand her the bottle. She tries to touch me. I slap her hand away. She tries to tell me her name. I tell her she does not matter, and I do not want to know. Years later at a meeting, she will tell me this was the first time a man rejected her. She shows me the scars of where she carved a game of tic-tac-toe on her thigh to forget it. I will tell her it was not my hand that held the blade, but she is safe now. She does not look so sure. I walk into the crowd, begin to peddle my poison, the familiar laced with danger. I do so with a smile. People begin to accept. I feel so very powerful, watching people reach for their own facilitated destruction. I try to take note of how many have taken my gifts. A hand grips my shoulder. End of part one.
Andy Markert.
Oh, Andy, it's incredible. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
tell the
you.
movie
You're
fast.
fantastic.
Just
You're number two.
beautiful. That's how you
Thank you.
tear
Thank
it
you.
down, man.
Blessings.
Let's go.
At Andy Meerkat, when you spell Meerkat, there's two T's at the end. Make sure you follow him so you can see that second part. Ooh, tormented artist. Takes one to know one. Apex Predator. Loved it, loved it. Andy Meerkat, make sure you give him a follow. Andy Markert, the man, appreciate it. Next coming up, Gina Nepa. The last time that she rocked out with us, she left us floored. She actually made the highlight reel for that show. I'm trying to unmute you, Gina. Do you see the message? There we go. There's Gina. Gina, you know the deal. Let the people know where they can follow you. Then let's hear your poetry.
Yeah, I just want to quickly take a second that you made me go after Paul and Andy, and like I'm still new, so you should have given me more grace than that because like that's pretty fucked up. But I will move forward with that, but I'm gonna remember. You can find me Gina Antonia Poetry on Instagram. I also have a feature coming up with Inspired Word, who's also through New York, on June 8th, and you can sign up to perform there as well. So I'm starting off with some dark stuff and then we'll like lean into lighter. And I tried to be like theme adjacent. So that's all I can do for you. This is called The Illusion. When I confided in the woman who lived down the hall from me that a man who lived below us had dumped my body in the hallway after making of me what he wanted, she turned to me stoically and said, "But don't you always want to have sex? They had warned me, you know, they had told me, fuck the man you've legally bound yourself to like your life depends on it, but fuck anyone else and well, you deserve the hell. Your rape doesn't count if the number of people you've slept with is uncountable. The health department knows you on a first name basis, but the police hadn't bothered to learn your name at all. The man who did this terrible thing, he was fined by his coach. They said, don't ruin our reputation. They said, the other boys saw you do it, you know. They said, next time, lock the door. They said, if you cover her unconscious body in a blanket, it'll make the cover up more convincing. That's the thing about this body I didn't sign up to have. It was a vacation destination that's now a crime scene. It's right to ban visitors when we can't guarantee their safety. When you think back to the question, but don't you always want to have sex? You realize now if it requires the same body that was unapologetically ravaged by vultures, you hope to never again. This is called Palette. To the man who went down on me for an hour and a half before telling me the next day that he didn't want to see me anymore because the mystery had gone away. Did the mystery vanish before or after you realized that I picked you from a hat at a bar that I picked for the strong drinks that I drank in order to make my decisions for the night easier to swallow? I tried to make your experience as palatable as possible. I tried to give you step-by-step instructions on how to cleanse my palate, but that's a mystery you couldn't solve if your life depended on it. I guess all you'll be swallowing tonight is your pride. This is called Sleeveless. You fucked me up more than my therapist did when he told me he masturbated to the thought of me in a tank top. At least he finished what he started. And then this is my last one. This is called Swimming. When I look at you up close, far away, in my dreams, when my body screams, I want to devour every goddamn inch of you, and then go back for seconds. When I think of you briefly, fleetingly, I realize I'm wet enough to solve the climate crisis. You run your fingers through your hair, and I have to clench my teeth harder than the muscles of my pelvis just to avoid the protracted moan that's been making its way out of my mouth since the first time I saw you wet your lips. I bet my lips were wetter than yours that day, but I'll let you find that out for yourself. Thinking about you going down on me brings me down to my knees because we all know if you go down, we all go down. With you in my head so much, the least I can do is return the favor. You make me feel like my body has been electrocuted. You lay your hand behind your head just enough for me to see your gentle muscles expand. And I think I expand a cup size in that moment. I get goosebumps every time you giggle, you know, but I get thrashing orgasms every time you get serious. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to fuck you so hard that you'll need to cancel your plans for the week, for the month, for the year. Baby, I've been bad, haven't I? My double stimulation is looking in both of your eyes at the same time. When you take your hat off, I can get to triple. With a pool this deep, we're gonna need more lifeguards, but please, pretty please, go swimming with me first. Okay, I'm done.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for
All
Gina.
right,
Neppa.
Gina. Nice job. Good job.
Nice.
Oh man.
All of that.
Oh man.
Gina Neppa. Oh, how you gonna have to go me at those people? I'm not good. And then she comes in with like all razor blades under her tongue. Gina Neppa killing it. I love it. Quick fun fact, the Inspired Word, I was its first host for like the first year and a half, 2 years. So when you see Michael tell him the Advocate Award said, what's up? Gina Neppa, love having her on. Gina, you're gonna have to sign up again. Love it, love it. but I'm not gonna fall for the, oh, you had a couple of good people on, how you gonna have me follow? I don't know what to do. Yeah, whatever. I see you, Gina. Ed Poetastic is next. Where is Ed? He's always here. Is Ed not here? Is Ed Poetastic? Where people are pointing, which means that he is somewhere. They keep pointing to the screen. But oh, there he is. I see Ed now. I see Ed. Ed Poetastic. Ed, you know the deal. Let the people know where they can find you online, and let's hear your poetry, brother.
Sure, no problem. Hey, my Potastic peeps. You can find me at Facebook at Eddie Foreman, and you can find me at IG at Ed Foreman 92. Hey, brother advocate, the Potastic host that we love the most, that deserves a toast but never boasts, but that would make you a Potastic host. So let's begin. I hope everyone getting ready to, let me start over again. My name is Ed Potastic. I hope everyone's feeling fantastic. I'm here to give you some rhymes, so please offer me your time so you can feel sublime. All right, this is matching the theme. All right, this is called They Say About You. They say about me, I really don't care. Names are on labels, they're not here or there. Labels don't instantly disable, don't wallow in dark despair. Know what some say about MLK and Gandhi? It really wasn't pleasant or nice. They help on a deep, passionate degree, even for a painful price. People don't understand. Words are only words. They can be either I understand. Do not be too disturbed. They can command or demand. When someone says when someone says anything bad about you, pay them no thought or mind. They don't know what you do. Leave their dark clouds behind. Get lost in your adventures and your view. Do not mind them, be aligned while they stay blind. They don't control your fate, can't push your buttons or pull your strings. Let them bask in their self-hate. Pursue your unique golden wings. We can all relate. Life is whatever you create. Thank you.
Unmute yourself, give some energy to Ed Poetastic.
Good job, Ed.
You guys are Potastic.
There you go, Eddie. Thank you. Thank you.
Man,
Always so good to hear your words. Much appreciated.
Ed Poetastic, make sure you give him a follow. He always making us feeling like a superstar. I appreciate you, Ed. Thank you so much. A mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and another mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and he looks like he's on vacation somewhere, as if like he's about to give us a news report. I don't know if that's an airport behind him or something, but I'm loving it.
It's official. I'm a mainstay. You heard it. It's official. Yeah. So I'm at the airport, but it's Monday night, so I mean I got it. So I apologize. I'm gonna have to jet as soon as I'm done here. I gotta get through security and shit. That is Gina, unless you want me to cancel my plans, because I will cancel the fuck out of those plans. Okay. Anyway, so I got two quick things. Some self-promotion real quick, since this is what they say about you, right? By next week, I think I'll have a book on Amazon called 2020 D-Vision. Some people have read it, and this is what they've said about it. This poet creeps up on you. Hold on tight. Always bringing the heat, like a hayride with just a tiny drop of acid. These are stunningly nuanced and subtle. I love how you can hit people over the head and still be so sly and clever all at the same time. A poet who doesn't agree with society. Propaganda poet has perfected the art of screamoetry. That's my favorite one. Like a mix of Bernie Sanders and Sean King to the tune of Head PE. Propaganda poet sees the words on the walls and he's going to read them. I believe DG Clearing said that. Powerfully potent poetry like watching 3D movie. Shel Silverstein meets Bill Hicks at a Dennis Leary rant. And finally, your words are universal and speak to my soul. Testimony to this fucked up times that we are experiencing. Bears witness to the indescribable feelings we have faced in isolation. And the really good news is if people buy my book, I can start like buying your books and like donating to New Eurekan and all that kind of stuff because I'll have money. Okay, so now my actual poem. This one's kind of to the prompt, kind of because I had to really get this out. This is called Ode to Palestine. Apparently, I'm a Jew. At least that's what they tell me. By they, I'm referring to my mother's side of the family that incessantly tried to sell me on the idea that I should follow blindly, even when I questioned shit that just didn't feel right to me. Supposedly, it's the blood that binds me to these self-proclaimed chosen people who choose to enact human rights atrocities with the same fervent velocity of a certain master race. That feels like the epitome of hypocrisy. Apparently, I'm a Jew. At least that's what they tell me. And by they, I'm referring to an entire community who entirely turned their backs on me when I chose not to succumb to their idiocracy, the openly dangerous hive mentality that has led us to murdered children, slaughtered families, Zionistic manifest destinies, all echoing Nazi philosophies. I would never choose that life for me. Apparently, I'm a Jew. At least that's what they tell me. And by they, I'm referring to religious zealotry that wants to define and dictate my destiny based on bonds that are really quite imaginary, claiming that it's all written in my blood, thusly telling me that I have no choice but to belong, to follow along. Well, I have a news flash for these chosen people. The reality is that our blood is just as red as the blood that floods the streets as you repeat the sins of your own past. You desecrate these holy lands with the fallen bodies of your fellow man. And because I choose to take a stand, somehow I'm the one that's dishonorable and disrespectful? I suppose it's easier to cast stones than it is to atone for your own reflection. Apparently, I'm a Jew. At least that's what they tell me. But now I have something to tell them. You are not my chosen people. I choose to refuse. I will not willingly be blind, being led by the blind. I choose to recognize all the lies. I choose to open my eyes. Thank you for listening. I apologize. I got to jump off and get through security. But if I get through fast enough, I'll try and jump back on. Again, I love you all. You are amazing.
Propaganda. No, man.
That was Propaganda Poet. And I love these virtual open mics because you see people in transition. There he goes, Propaganda, living his life, making the move, stopping in to share a poem. Appreciate him. Yes, he is a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Next coming up is another mainstay, and that is Elemental. Elemental has been on fire these last several weeks. I have had to force myself to not put him in the highlight reel because it looks like it's becoming the Monday Night Online Open Mic Elemental featuring the rest of the community. I gotta share the love. Elemental, let the people know where they can follow you, and then let's hear that fire.
Absolutely not. I appreciate you, Senior Brim in the building. I truly appreciate you for all your love and energy, brother. You are Monday Night, Mr. Monday Night. To all the poets before me, to those who are coming after me, I truly appreciate your energy. Storm Gods in the building, Voltron Rising. My book Calamity is coming soon. Check in, pre-orders, elemental.com for everything you need to know. So this is interesting. This is really brand new, still wet paint. This is really some real shit though. So don't judge me, man. It's just who I am. Let's go. I've had lots of nicknames in my time. Different people in different spaces know me for different things. Once upon a time, my dad called me Dr. Poo Poo, filled my diaper with all the gunk and junk going in and on in our household, stomach churn, spilling gruesome energies into washable repetitions of I hate you, I love you, this family, now complete. With this last of three siblings, hoping he can breathe new life in a world rusting at the hinges, binging on war movies and science fiction because science fact was too hard to hold together. My family calls me Tootie. Nursery rhymes included, too shy to do anything other than attach to mommy's hip cry, bucket after bucket of tears at anything that didn't involve happy or delightful. As a baby, no matter what they tried, my cries still rang out like air raid sirens. No remedies could soothe me. They said I cried more than sandstorms and desert ruins. When the tears evaporated into painful memories, they said, what happened to the adorable crybaby, easy target that made us all laugh? I was a fiend before I became a teen, writing all the words trapped in those tears, dreaming Biggie's dream with all of Pac's eyes on me, called my generation X, a menace to society, collection of super predators that deserve to be dead at 18, keeping the streets safe for gentrifying. They said, if you can't accept your existence, we have comfortable accommodations of state waiting. Waiting just for you. I was Sweet Pea in college, always with the whole funk and nothing but the funk. They said I was a quiet riot, Hurdle Hall resident in the fall of space children in the backwoods of a place you've never heard of, trying to become what I didn't see, but crashed into a GPA that didn't even register on the Richter scale. They said too much Indo and Super Nintendo. Funny, the lessons we learned outside of the classroom. By the time I ended up in uniform, they called me Cav. Couldn't tell you the first thing about being a soldier other than the fear. They said, do you swear to protect this country from enemies, foreign and domestic? Still can't decide which is worse. I was a problem. Too much me, not enough them. They said I wouldn't make it with a bad attitude, not willing to embrace the change this uniform brings. By the time I got to me, I felt the call of the elements, music in my bones, spray paint in my blood, these words, the needle on this turntable tongue. They said I was loud, conspiracy brother, ready to break every piece of light that broke the black in everything that we see and do. They say you should be careful what you say. They assassinate those that speak with such.
Wait, Elemental, you got them muted. Hold on 1 second. Wait, hold on 1 second. Damn it. All right. Go ahead, pick it up.
Terrible. All right. Funny, the lessons we learned outside of classrooms. By the time I ended up in uniform, they called me Cav. Couldn't tell you the first thing about being a soldier other than the fear. They said, do you swear to protect this country from enemies, foreign and domestic? Still can't decide which is worse. I was a problem. Too much of me, not enough them. I wouldn't make it with such a bad attitude, not willing to embrace the change this uniform brings. By the time I got to me, I felt the call of the elements. Music in my bones, spray paint in my blood, these words, the needle to this turntable tongue. They said I was so loud, conspiracy brother, ready to break every shade of black to counter every shade of white that kept the light from the truth. They said you should be careful what you say. They assassinate those that speak with such substance. I couldn't help but roll these tragedies into poem and smoke these rumors, these lies, these truths. They say I'm a problem, but actually, I'm just a poet.
Unmute yourselves, give some energy to Elemental.
Thank you. You're such a good writer.
Fantastic, brother.
Such a good poet. Appreciate it.
Fan-freaking-tastic. Unreal. Come on.
You see why I have a problem now putting him in the highlight reels every week? This is what he brings. Elemental, when you check out his website, elemental.com, when you spell elemental, remove the T, take the 2. Elemental, are you going to be here with us to the end of the night? Are you going to be here? Yes? Cool. I'm going to send you the info. I would like for you to close it out with the poem, Good Night, Sweet Poet. We're going to hand it to Elemental tonight. And for those of you who are new, you don't know what I'm talking about, stick around to the end and you'll see. And now we are going to the poet who closed us out last week with Good Night, Sweet Poet. She did a great rendition, by the way. I love it. We love having her here. Mary Blenderman. Mary, let the people know where they can find you online. Now let's hear your poetry.
Absolutely. Well, you can find me on the internet at maryblenderman.com. I put it in the chat for you. This piece is a slight reworking of the first piece I ever read in public. Yeah, and I'll just get going here. But before I do, well, I'll say this piece is called My Honest Poem after Rudy Francisco. And before I read, please join me in taking a deep breath in and out. I was born on August 26. I hear that makes me a Virgo. I don't really know what that means. Except that it sounds like virgin, which is also something they said about me. Intimacy was the class my parents never signed the permission slip for, and your body is a test I have always been afraid I will fail. I mean, your body is a blackboard and my tongue is dry chalk full of wrong answers, so I study you silent. I remember small details the best. In the house I grew up in, the walls shouted, and I've been quiet ever since. I am allergic to crowds. They make me choke on words disappearing down my throat like the bodies of bees into flowers. The buzz and the swarm make hives of my skin, and if one more motherfucker touches me without permission, I'm gonna sting him. I don't take silence for granted. My favorite places are libraries, cathedrals, and outer space. I think a lot about how sound is movement, and to speak is to refuse to stand still, and stillness is a winter I keep returning to because at least freezing is familiar. I mean, I am really good at talking myself out of speaking up. Long before I was an academic, I moved into an ivory tower. I built it from the tusks of all the elephants in the room I've refused to discuss. I spent years training to join the circus, balancing on a tightrope between am and should be, taming the lions of my insecurities and opening my throat wide enough to swallow my own tears. Now there's an ocean of regrets in my stomach I am afraid I will never be strong enough to swim across, to reach the life I really wanted on the other side. Hi, my name is Mary. I am almost too gay to function. I am probably a girl and definitely a woman. I like good books, ripe tomatoes, and dancing while I wait for the walk sign, but I'm so absent-minded. Sometimes I forget where I set down my smile and I get locked out of my own happiness. My hobbies include dressing up as myself, writing circles around my vulnerabilities, and opening my hands to realize they are already full. I don't know much, but I do know this. If to speak is to refuse to stand still, then every poem I write is a dance, is a protest, is a heartbeat, is an argument. If I am still alive, then I must have something to say.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to Mary Blunt.
Wow, Mary, that was
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're incredible.
I want to be
Incredible.
there. You're cool.
Yes, Mary, yes.
Mary Blenderman, when you spell Blenderman, that is with two N's at the end, maryblenderman.com. I love having her on. Her poetry is so awesome, her cadence, all of it. And she was my 2021 Valentine. Ha suckers. Okay, Mr. Tessasomoke is next. Where is he? He is a professor. He is a gang member, beat upper, and he is a man of the land as a farmer. Mr. Tessasomoke, let the people know where they can find you online, and let's get into your poetry.
You can find me on Instagram under Gaseous 2019 for my latest book. And I'm having to run the gauntlet with Mr. Elemental and Mary Blenderman. That's hardcore. The wilderness of dreams, hopes, and aspirations. I took my nephew to work in the fields, that is the Central Valley farming fields of California. He was caught in the grips of his apathetic paternal abandonment, his disdain for his mother's harping, broken. My mother had taken him in, felt that grandmotherly pity for him. We call it lastima. Sounds like you're at the end of your wits and no stamina. At night, he would go out the back porch and sight the night sky. You could see that he would travel to a time when people didn't exist on the earth, a primordial space where animals and plants lived in harmony. You could see the specter of his Nahual fly to Citlaltepec, the star mountain in the middle of Iztapalapa, meaning in the water of the banks, referring to his position along the lake shore of Lake Texcoco, situated partly on dry land and partly on over water. A Nahual is a human being who has the power to shift into a jaguar. When he was out at night, he was not ferocious, but rather meek and nimble. He would feed from roots and fruits, not other animals. His golden mane shimmered with the light of Mestli, the moon, as it bounced off of him. When we caught sight of him, he turned his head towards you. All you could see were two flames where his eyes were. That back porch jaguar was a dreamer. You could see the dreams and hopes escape towards the stars. He sat there for hours looking up at the constellations and be forever enchanted by the stars and the moon. His mistress, Metzli, the moon, Citlalpol, Venus, Manalwitzli, Orion's belt, Itzpapalot, Ursula Major, and Miek, the seven sisters. On all the other shimmering lights he saw night after night. Over several nights, he observed a new star with a flashy turquoise tail, trying to shade his favorite stars. He tried to contain his youthful rage, but full of uncontrollable hormones, he began to question the new star. Citlalpol, Venus tried to settle the jaguar, but he would not have it, disregarding that the stranger star was very proud and would soon pass. The youthful jaguar began to question Citlalpoca, the smoking star, why she was there. Highly offended, Citlalpoca chastised the youthful jaguar. Only the gods can contemplate my beauty in the same manner that I'm beautiful. I'm also mischievous. My passing signals the death of a warrior or prince or king. Worst, I'm the messenger of war or famine. Citlalpoca demanded that the jaguar should not igualarse, to feel that he had earned the privilege to reprimand Citlalpoca. The youthful jaguar signaled a prepubescent meh by turning his back, walking toward his porch. The comet, incensed, launched the flaming arrows towards the jaguar in full-blown rage. He said, I'm Citlalmina, the fire archer. Some nights, my nephew comes back in with burns on his necks and other times burns on his wallets. After the long day of working in the fields, we sat down to eat, and he was so impressed that the usual bowl of beans and tortillas that he had had 1,000 times before tasted so good. I told him that it was his famine, his hunger that he was eating. Even hunger has to be earned. In my light slumber, I could hear him, his dreams and his hopes. He wasn't the only back porch jaguar. The paradox of providing security is that it happens through the distribution of insecurity. As I tossed and turned, I could hear the wilderness of dreams, hopes, and aspirations of other insecure jaguars, like cats in heat, consuming their desires.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for
Wow.
Mr. Tessa Soul.
Beautiful. Thank you, man.
Wow.
Thank you. Always
Oh,
right in. Thank you.
oh.
Thank you.
Mr. Tessa Somo, you can find him on Instagram, Gaseous 2019. As I like to say about him, he is a bard in a room full of poets. Love this dude. And he's a man of the land. He's a farmer. Also, I know who the farmer is, Marissa Prada, who's checking this out. She's also a mainstay. Shout out to her. Mr. Tessa Somo, you can find him on Instagram, Gaseous 2019. Now we've got the urban cowboy poet, always coming to us with his legends. Brother, let people know where they can find you, and then let's hear your legend.
I want to know where I can find me. I've lost myself. I lost my thumbnail. How do I get it back? Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
How do I get my picture back? I can't find myself.
I don't know. If you're on Zoom, you may be seeing me, but all of us can see you, so you're good to go.
Well, I'd like to see me. Okay. What people say about me is that I'm a gentleman, a really nice guy. I hate that. I wrote the first part. Oh, I really want to see myself. Oh, well, whatever. I wrote the first part of this for Marissa's late Saturday night after hour off live stream erotic fantasy party. But then I expanded it to meet your theme, what they say about me. Well, before this, Marissa had said I'm not a dirty old man. So I wrote this, dirty old man. Marissa said I'm not one, but I say, and please don't throw up, dirty old man is what I've always aspired to when I grow up. Maybe you don't picture me as a geezer who always in dirt. But when I pop a blue pill, I'll chase any young thing in a skirt. I get offers from ladies my age most every other day. It's nice Ma Dukes has a crush on me, but she's so far away. Why limit myself? I've got money and time. Out there is a whole wide world. Now I can do what I wanted to do since college, pick up college girls. Oh, a hot young thing might look at me and think I'm some old fatty, but if she needs help with student loans, she'll want a sugar daddy. I want the girl of my dreams to answer, don't look at me with scorn. When I ask, darling, where have you been all my life? 2/3 of it, I wasn't born. But my friends don't actually see me like this, more like a jolly old elf. Maybe these people who know me better than I know myself. They're more aware than I am that these are daydreams in my head, and I'm just not the type to lure young co-eds to my bed. Cute chicks in films make me watch them. In ads, they make me buy things. But will I really pursue them? This old chicken's seen too many springs. And I've found that women my age, that is, the ones who aren't dead, have interesting tales about their lives. And I've listened to what they said. I've met ladies who still look good, and I can tell they used to be hot. They still crave a good man like me, and they know how to use what they've got. They see me as a gentleman with a kind heart and goodwill, important qualities in an old man, along with a supply of blue pills. Oh, I still dream of young beauties when I'm home and I want to relax. So what do I do when I'm all alone? That is none of your beeswax. If I see a young hottie walking down the street, you know I'll check out her fanny and imagine. Where was I? Oh, please introduce me to your granny. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for the Urban Cowboy poet.
Every cat's gotta come off.
Yes, great.
Urban Cowboy poet, Urban Cowboy poetry. Look him up on YouTube. That dirty old man. I love it. I love it. I love it. The Urban Cowboy poet. Ah, this community is so great. Okay, let's move forward. Thank you to the community. We're ahead of time. We're going to be able to get to the waiting list. I'm not sure how many people, but we are going to be able to get to some. Next, coming up is a man who doesn't want to talk baseball because my team has a much better record than his team at the moment. And that is Thomas Connor. Thomas, let the people know where they can find you online. And then let's see your poetry.
You can find me at Facebook, Thomas Connor, and TAC7371 on Instagram. So this is going to be a collab, the last of the three collabs. So I'm going to go first. So we're at the last act of the magic show. Situations haven't changed. The quality of our inequality remains the same. We trying to plot a revolution, but they run the show. So even if you win, we lose. We're more part of this institution than you know. Self-sufficiency and illusion to this land that ain't free. See, freedom got a shotgun and ain't got no ammo. Her sight's blurred and clouded. Her liberty a lie, cause she ain't blind, just selective. To her, we're non-existent unless we shuck and jive to the music she selected. It's mind-blowing how she moves. She still owes us 40 acres and a mule. Still on a promise to pay plan, and she don't rock with PayPal. Her notes promissory. Juneteenth should be our everyday. She revels in the unbalanced, using her inequity to break our necks.
How quickly we forget, drenched in excuses to turn face as if freedom's bleeding bosom is avoidable, like freedom ain't in the void with you. They stirring our tea with the sunken place spoon, rub our bellies while calling us buffoons, using languages unwelcome to disguise the disgust, but everybody knows when they talk about us. See, I don't have no energy for more death on my feed. I spent my whole life hearing pray for the Middle East. Now when the beast openly eats, Nobody recoils at the sight of its teeth. I guess that's how it is when hailing from a broken country, US, touting loud and garishly on our behalf how they gave everyone else colonialism for free. Look, this is how you skin antiques. This is how you incite a scream. Nothing medieval here, more like a winning streak. Of course, the victor is who gets to teach. How do you invade the ocean and dare call it a creek? How do you commit to devolving a dream? I guess the same way they confuse ethnic cleansing for somebody else's business. What is this? Listen, they're mispronouncing apartheid by saying eviction. Now the sane are yelling at Lady Liberty, free Palestine, and fix your diction. Ain't this what freedom is? Watching concrete flatten kids. Tax dollars raping and replacing Zion while we keep lying with silly utterances like God forbid.
See, they don't know holy language. They blaspheme us as they blasted us. But we dodging and ducking, midnight marauding, moon gazing after consuming the sun. We're not afraid to shine. Embracing the ballad of the gun, my Uzi weighs a ton. Fuck W.D. Griffith and their three-strike system, their 400 years to amend. We are the birth of this nation, but no more running by the river. We be the ocean, drowning their shit, calling out their dime store magic tricks. Fuck Alec. We are Huey, storming with Angela, resurrecting Stokely and Hampton. Behold the pale horse, but we be reaching for her reins now. Rushing the White House, fuck the Capitol. We need more capital. They suppressing us all of our capital. We're praying to the dirt beneath our souls because it seems to be the only thing that's left holy. So hopefully these next magic tricks will assure our freedom gonna come. Peace.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Thomas Connor.
Great dude. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad I logged back in. Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yes.
It's five.
You can find Thomas Connor on Facebook, Thomas Connor. And of course, we heard Ray Jane earlier. It's rayjane.com. And Propaganda Poet is like, I'm so happy I logged back in at the airport, man. I'm grounded until this is over with. Love you, brother. Appreciate it. Thomas Connor, go give that man some love. His New York Mets are horrible. He needs some love somewhere. Poetic Desire is next. My fellow Pisces, there she is. Let me unmute her. You know the deal, Poetic Desire. Let the people know where they can find you online, and let's hear your poetry.
All right, Facebook and Instagram, Poetic Desire, spelled with a K. 6-word memoirs, Poetic Pisces, and I will be a feature coming up Saturday, June 5th for Mr. Speaker at Poetic Heat. Info's in the chat. All right, so let me get started right away. This is called Smart and Sexy Perspectives. They say I'm smart and sexy. Sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't. There are varying degrees of this perspective's philosophy based on situational surroundings. I'm smart, book smart, researching details till I found the answer, able to retain some of that knowledge of what I've learned along the way, learned by osmosis, words seeping through the pages and into my brain. It's concepts seeking to stay ingrained, but I'm not always smart. That is street smart. They say I must have been sheltered, overprotective parenting kept me socially endangered, or did it? For I'm naturally introverted with a yearning to be more extroverted, usually keeping to myself, afraid to speak up on the outskirts of every social circle, just dipping in a brainwave to catch a wave of every culture's dynamics, to learn their ways of interacting, learning trial by fire, just thrown in the mix, learning on the fly, hoping to get by, to think on my feet, hoping when questioned I can take the heat, to act like I am smart enough to know the conversation's flowing beat. Because they say I'm too naive, too forgiving, too much I see the good in others, too much I'm a doormat for others to walk all over, too much didn't you know this is what that meant? Too much, what do you mean you don't do that? Too much, can't you read this person's character? Too much, didn't you know any better? For in any social circle, I've learned to stay hushed at first, listening in closely to see if I should chime in. But if I chime in, well, I get that infamous buzzer that goes, wrong answer. For not knowing the most current events of the world, for not knowing or understanding the topics at hand. Now, they also say I'm sexy. But how? Is it just my cute outfit for that day? Is it the way my hair was done up? Or is it my Asian look that attracts the beauty you perceive? Is it more than outside appearances? Is it my mind that you find sexy? I know I'm sexy when my words spoken on paper flowing poetically in verses makes you lust after me with what I may seek to say, those sexy wordplay topics that draw you into your poetic desire to see what lays beneath her surface. They say they love my words. They say, I need you to write something for me. They say, how do you think up these poems? Because this one and that one is truly a gem. I just know I have a special way with words, relationship built upon years of synergized symbiotic synthesis, a harmonious molding of my thoughts intertwined with lyrically serenaded phrasing. I do feel sexy when clothing pairings disguise my imperfection while its design tightly hugging my curves, draping over my extremities has achieved that sexy appeal that has me strutting with confidence my outside beauty of the day, becoming in tune with its tempting allure, tantalizing enough to enchant others, to send me compliments, feeding my vain conceit, except when it comes to bathing suit envy, how unattractive I feel to flaunt what once was, to now don one pieces or non-bearing midriff two pieces, to hide my pooch of a belly now, to hide stretch marks galore, not wanting to bear all what others may stare at and judge. And when it comes to pictures, you better take it from my good side. Catch me at the right angles, at trickier poses to trim the fat, to avoid double chins, to avoid appearing as if the cam added those 10 extra pounds times 2. And when bearing it all in the bedroom, I only feel sexy when it's just you and I. You, my lover, who has shown admiration for all my changing curves, for loving me for what my body was, is, and will be. I feel the sexiest in the eyes of love, so reassuring and alluring, bewitching me to be your sex slave, your sex goddess of sexy Kama Sutra moves and poses. They say I'm smart and sexy. This all agree at varying degrees of this perspective's philosophy by being smart enough to fool you as needed, seducing your eyes and mind to perceive what you think is sexy about me. Good night.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Poetic Desire.
That's what's up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Poetic.
Poetic Desire, baby.
Poetic Desire, make sure you give her a follow. She too has become a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Appreciate having her. Poetic Desire. Make sure you go and check the chat. Again, I know we're nearing the end of the open mic, but everyone who performs, check the chat. People are saying nice things about you. Also, when you're done, make sure you check Facebook and YouTube. We have a bunch of people responding on there. I'm sorry I can't get to everyone and mention everyone, but I do see those people lighting it up on Facebook and YouTube with their comments. So after you guys perform after tonight, make sure you go back and see what the nice people are saying about you. Now we have come to the last person who's guaranteed, Elaine Nadal. Where is Elaine? And Elaine was featured in our highlights from last week, which we just posted this morning. So make sure you go to my Instagram or YouTube and check it out. But right now, don't go nowhere because we're going to hear Elaine. Elaine, let people know they can find you online. Now let's hear your poetry, sis.
Hi, hello everyone. So nice to see you guys. You can find me on Instagram, Elena_Nadal. I'm going to be sharing with you guys my poem titled Basta Enough. Today I had a language barrier problem, according to the lady on the phone who wasn't getting what she wanted and only knew my first name. I explained it was the policy. She asked to speak to the manager. Manager made an exception and apologized to her for any misunderstanding. Earlier in February, my brother and I were at a bookstore. Everywhere we went, an employee kept following. Brother was ready to check out after 30 minutes of browsing. He wanted the teacher discount, but forgot his ID. The cashier asked a bunch of questions like, how are you using these books in your class? And are you sure you're going to be using all these? Yes, I teach literature, my brother replied. Cashier said, this time, I'll take your word for it. Just last year, my mother's bathroom got flooded. Water from the pipes came up through the tub and toilet. The condo association manager refused to replace the carpet. He said, we'll do some cleaning. Our policy doesn't account for that, and we can't go around spending money so that you can have free new stuff. Mom said, but it's the second time, Coño, and I pay association fees. They went back and forth. He called her threatening and hung up the phone. After several months, mom got a new carpet. It wasn't as pretty nor as good in quality. The condo association guy got a promotion. So take my words, a mountain ridge, a canopy of dreams, an eagle's eye. For I am telling that today I had a problem, the kind that breaks a heart. I said, today I had a problem, the kind that breaks a heart. I could have told the lady on the phone I go to college and I'm smart, but I didn't. I was somewhat afraid. Maybe I had nothing to prove. Maybe I knew I had nothing to gain. Got no apology, no explanation, no conversation, no time set aside to release some emotions. So I am angry. I am disappointed. I am saddened that today I had a problem and tomorrow may be the same.
Unmute yourselves, give some love to Elaine.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, Elaine.
Very nice, Elaine. So true.
right.
Yes, yes. Our truths of life sometimes are not easy to write, and we do.
Elaine Nadal, make sure that you go look her up. She is a published author. Make sure that you go cop her book. Thank you, Elaine, a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and she was heavily featured in our highlight reel. Make sure you check that out. Okay, we have gotten to everyone on the guaranteed open mic list. Now we are going to get into our waiting list. Before we do, I want to recognize some people who are here joining us on Zoom that have not signed up, like Marissa Prada. Hi, Marissa. She normally gets to sign up and rock out. Right now, she's here giving us love. Same thing with Jen Monique. She, the last month and a half, has become addicted to us. She's here checking us out now, but not rocking out tonight. We also have Danielle Griffin. I don't think I know Danielle, but shout out to Danielle. Thank you for checking us out. Catman Bill, who's a mainstay with the Thursday Night Online Open Mic. He be getting on the guitar and singing. He's checking us out tonight. Appreciate you, brother. Adriana Roel. I don't know who that is, but I appreciate you checking this out. First time I see that name here. Brandy Walker. First time I'm seeing that name here too. I'm liking seeing the new people coming in, checking us out. Complicated Passions, who apparently only has 10 books left. He has sold 490 books. Make sure you look him up, give him some love, help him out with that. Whitney Salgado is here. If you are following me on social media, another component I am doing is I am adding like one of the best quotes of the night from our open mics. And we started off with Whitney. Her freaking quote like took up residence in my brain for like 5-6 days. Like, I mean, real obnoxious, like sitting on the couch in my mom, putting the feed up, you know, changing the password to my Netflix. Like, so I had to do something with that line. And every week now, we're going to highlight a quotable. Shout out to Norm Mathematics, though I think we're going to be able to hear from him. He's on the waiting list. Shout out to Jane Spoken Word. Loving her new background. She's always got awesome background. She, too, is on our waiting list. Hopefully, we get to her. Amanda's here. Amanda's looking all cozy and sleepy. It's like we all need to hang out with Amanda and cozy up, like in this like one big group and listen to poetry the way she does. Shout out to her. Shout out to Nessa, who is either eating or sewing, but she's always giving us love. Oh, is it sewing? Or she's tying something up? I don't know. Maybe she's going to get into some like private stuff behind the scenes, and we are seeing. Okay, let's keep moving. Shout out to Jeremy Lee Simo, who is on the waiting list. Hopefully we get to him. Shout out to Shihi. I hope I'm saying your name right. She's been here giving us a lot of love in the chat. Make sure you guys check the chat. Shout out to Joshua Kernia, who was cooking when the sign-up list came, and he was about 2 minutes late, couldn't get to it, but I appreciate him tuning in, giving us love. Umberto Marte, who's always checking in and giving us love, listening. I love it. I love the audience, man. Like, I love the poets, but we need people who are listening to us, so I appreciate all of you. Kevin Alexander, once again, checking us out. He's addicted too. I got a feeling in a few weeks he's going to sign up and share his poetry. Boeraku from Japan is here. He's on the waiting list. We may get to him. If not, I wanted to make sure to shout him out, let him know that we see him. Now we are going into the Skiff verse with Paul Skiff. He is an OG with the New Yo. Paul, let the people know where they can find you online, and then take us to the Skiff verse, brother.
Hey, hi, everybody. It's such a relief to be here. No joke. It's just paulskiff.com. I actually have an Instagram too. I just always forget about it. It's just Skiffgram. the middle school counselor who said the test showed my IQ was 132, but I was half a delinquent. And it was too bad because I had so much potential. The baseball coach who purposefully beamed me from the pitcher's mound and laughed, saying, "Skiff, you got so much potential." The desk sergeant at the precinct station who said he was sure they'd be seeing me again and asked why I was ruining my life if I had so much potential. The financial consultant who advised I give more attention to practical matters because I had so much potential. The minister who showed me the outdoor from the Sunday school because I wasn't Christian enough, and it was a shame because I had so much potential. The girlfriend who flew across the ocean just to be with me for 24 hours and then went back to her husband saying she would miss my technique because I had so much potential. The high school wrestling coach who coerced me into going out and trying out for the freshman wrestling team, but who instead pulled a quick one and made me wrestle the 18-year-olds on the next weight class up. He laughed at me after my record was 32 losses, 2 ties, and 1 win. He said, "But you got so much potential." Listen, if every time someone said I had a lot of potential, they gave me a real compliment instead of talking down to me, they would find out it feels a lot better to be generous than conceited.
I like that.
Mute yourselves. Give it up for Paul.
Damn, let's
Damn.
get first. Come
Fucking Jedi.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, right on, Paul.
I love having Paul Skiff on. You can check him out, paulskiff.com. When you spell Skiff, that's with 2 F's at the end. New Yo OG. I say it every week, and I will continue to say it every week. He has more claim to this open mic than I do. The Skiff verse. Make sure you check out Paul Skiff. And I didn't know he had an Instagram. And I gotta go check out the Instagram. Skiffgram. Look him up. Next up, we've got Norm Mathematics. Where is Norm? There he is. Norm Mathematics. His book is out. Make sure you check it out. Norm, let the people know where they can find you online, where they can find your book, and let's hear your poetry, brother.
Hey, great to be here. And you can find me at Instagram, Norm_Maddox. And I'm gonna jump right in over here. By the way, this is the book that bro was talking about. And got 2 pieces, and they are both on point. Well, this one is definitely on point. If I go first, she will mourn me until she can curl her ribs into fingers, interlacing a hug. Feels like a place she can call home. True and devoted with an unquenchable hunger for love. As much as she needs is as much as I want to give her. Family gossip whispers loud enough to hear. She uses me, digs into my silver, waits on my gold. How wrong they are. She is chained to the mine of love that is mine alone. Arms to hold, breath to breathe, love to fulfill her addiction. I am the drug. Withdrawal will not undo the morning. Suffering will be in the arms of the chauffeur, driving my ashes to the ocean. Next piece. Anticipating the next inhale. What sound do you hear at the end of a breath? The churn of your wonder, the confluence of your essence meeting life. A jumble of harmonic resonant chaos of horizons colliding. Bated breath, the panic, heart beating, no, beats skipping to catch up to the rhythm of memories you just remembered from another lifetime. A foreign agent preparing to invade your undermined chambers, closet walls about to be caved in by the torrent of images. No, words describing images you've never seen, never existed until they met the horizons colliding at the end. No, the beginnings of thoughts you never thought before. Time to wake from the slow motion binge reel of life, flashing before your eyes in the moments before the next breath, if you decide never to breathe again. Peace.
Unmute yourselves. Give some love to North Mathematics.
Yes, Norm, that was amazing.
Mathematics.
That's
Let's
so
go.
good.
That was
Dope.
great.
Let's go.
That that was awesome.
Norm Mathematics. He's got his book out, Black Calculus. Look him up at Norm Mathematics on Facebook and Norm Mathematics on Instagram. Love this dude, man. Mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Next up, Jane Spoken Word. We are getting into our waiting list. I appreciate your community for doing that because I know it is difficult to sign up for the open mic list, even though it takes 3 minutes now to fill up instead of 1 minute. I mean, not get back to that. Jane Spoken Word. Let people know where they can find you, and then let's hear your beautiful poetry.
I'm janespokenword.com. I'm Jane Spoken Word on IG. I want to thank all the poets before me. This has been an awesome night. I'm glad to be able to spit with you for a minute. I got 2 shorties. I'm tired of this age's bullshit. You don't know what box I fit. And dude back there that toked and said, y'all are the oldest potheads I ever met. You little shit, looking all sideways at me, wondering who the fuck this white lady be, cracking on my not your race. You ain't never seen my Pepe's face, all dark and leathered, his history erased. Give me that mic, I might spit fire. Give me that mic, I might flow bars. Give me that mic, I might shine a light. Give me that mic, I'll take you fucking higher. You little shit, cut the bullshit. You don't know what box I fit. I'm all about the place that's it, where complexion ain't the connection to who you think I am. I'm just a ream of paper and a burning hot fucking pen. Peace, yo. All right, I got one more shorty. I exist. So fucking fragile, so empty and small. I disappear in pain, recede, sobbing silently behind these eyes. My pen flows bars of ache. Tears fall and scorch the page, silently screaming, creeping into my dreams, storming my sea of solitude, swimming through dead seas, trying to find life in wounded heavens, slipping into darkness. The sun, in cruel response, will not penetrate my despair. Steam rises from my morning's coffee cup, howling at the wind, chasing happiness. Has agony erased my beauty? Will I die with a smile on my final departure? Peace, yo. Thank you so much for having me. You guys are awesome.
Yes,
Let's give it up.
So good, James. So good.
Building. Boys bringing the heat. Dope, James. Dope,
Yes,
James.
yes.
Dope.
Love you, Jane.
Thank you. Thank you.
Spoken word. I can see her running out in her front yard with a blunt in one hand and a broom in another, kicking the kids off her lawn. Get off my lawn. I say, get off my lawn. I love it. Jane, spoken word. If we ever start a street gang, she is going to be our leader. Robert Zachary is next. But I think Robert left. Is why if you're on the waiting list, don't leave. We work hard to get to you. So that means we're going to Japan then with one of my favorites, Poetical, staying up, getting up early in the morning to hang out with us. Poetical, let the people know where they can find you, brother, and let's hear your poetry.
Yeah. Thank you for calling me, advocates. I have a question, advocate. Have you ever watched the film of Kurosawa Akira?
No.
Oh, a samurai series. Yeah. Actually, tonight my new ship movie is based on his film Rashomon, Gate of Rasho. It's a crime movie. Many people talk about the murder on court, but their speech are all different. So what is the truth? Who is murderer? So also my tonight's is what kind of person Poetaku is? Poetaku is a good man or a bad guy? I try to analyze myself by reading this poetry. So tough, but so exciting and so much fun. So I hope you all enjoy it too. I fought him at Poetry Slammer once. That time he performed a beatbox reading. I had such a trick, so I fought him and beat him. He told me I was right. I'm a better performer than you. Man is not made for defeat. A man can be destroyed. No rush, officer. Insecurity will destroy him so soon. Uncle Q is a man of justice. When I told him that I was being terribly bullied at school, he sent threatening letters filled with jargon to the families of the bullies and sent them shiver through them. Thanks to him, they quit bullying. My uncle is a poet, so he smoked the villain with his pen. In the future, I too will be a poet who fights against evil. I love Uncle Q. He was friendly stupid. He often skipped class and didn't read all the assignments. The report was too eccentric. However, his report was far sexier than the other students' excellent but boring ones. Never praiseworthy, but so much fun. He was fucking crazy. So he was AO at that. One day, when I blamed him for his behavior, he replied cynically, I'd rather go insane than be a saint. I didn't give him credit. The arrogant freedom lover is no doubt casually chanting a tanka on the road right now. Akazu no mi, the capital moon, miyako ni te mishi. It's waxing and waning, never bore me. Kage yorimo, but on the road. Tabi koso tsuki wa, its impermanence is even more. Aware narikere, deepening my sorrow. Aware narikere, deepening my sorrow. Yeah, he was definitely a weird fella. I got to play the sadistic gay. But this is not the Paris of the last century. Anti-theater is not popular nowadays. Anyway, he bailed on us with a new actress. Never forgive him. Huh. I guess he might have committed the love suicide in the water with her. この世の名残、世も名残。死にゆく身をたどれば、私が腹の道の霜。He's a son of a bitch officer because he couldn't marry me, so that he disclosed our bedtime stories for revenge. Women's hatred is deep and strong. Tokyo, New York, I will hunt him down wherever he goes until the chattering mouth with display. Happiness comes from the heart and makes yourself worthy of respect. Unhappiness comes from the heart and destroys yourself. I'm a bad guy. Thank you so much.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Poetical, man.
Thank you.
Attack, you're the best.
Wow, man. Come
Always
on.
such great show. Thank you. That's wonderful work.
Sushi.
Poetical, I love this too. Look him up on YouTube. Poeta Q50. Love having him on. He's out in Japan, so he's getting up nice and early to be with us. I appreciate the production value. Anyone who knows me knows I appreciate production. Look him up on YouTube, Poeta Q50. Thank you, brother. And we have room for one more poet, and he's actually the last person who's here from our waiting list, and that is Generalissimo. I was just about to click him and he moved. Wait, did he sign out or did he turn his video on? Where'd he go? Where'd Generalissimo go? Oh wait, I think I saw him again. I think I found him. There he is. Let me unmute him. Elemental, get ready. You're after this. All right, Generalissimo, you know the deal. Let the people know they can find you online. Let's hear your poetry. Close us out, brother.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just see what I had for you pulled up here. I had something somewhere. Just it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna just do two short ones. Let's see what we have here. The first is called "The Moon Uses an Electric Toothbrush." Lewis Carroll has painted the night with a Cheshire moon. A smile so singularly evil it blinds drivers who dare drive in its wake. Airborne black ice, worse than a whiteout. It lights up a sky dotted with only a few stars and wisps of snow cumulus, painted with quickened strokes of feathers. A smile a mother-in-law would approve of, but a spouse would know means trouble. It rules the firmament with fervor unapologetically. It does not need an eye to wink like Mac the Knife. La Luna swims amongst the celestial population where the atmosphere is as fluid as its inhabitants. Is the moon man or woman? Does it really matter in the grand scheme? It identifies on its passport as androgynous. So every once in a while, it gives us a Cheshire smile. And the next poem is called "The Least Sweet Fruit on Planet Earth." I am a connoisseur of sour grapes. To be palatable, sour grapes must always be sweetened and slashed or spiced up exponentially. Making sour grape jelly takes an inordinate amount of sugar. To ferment sour grapes, one must soak them in at least 1.5 times the volume of raw honey for at least a month. Sour grapes are most often used for vinegar, but the vinegar can only be used in small doses. No matter how sour grapes are consumed, no matter how sour grapes taste in their altered states, sour grapes are still sour grapes. Sour grapes will always cause heartburn in one way or another. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for
Thank you, Brian.
Yes.
So good to
Yes.
hear you read and close out the show tonight.
Shit.
I love Generalissimo and I love his titles. His titles are poems in themselves. Make sure you go look him up, Generalissimo, a mainstay here in the Monday Night Online Open Mic. So Amelia is not here and she signed up, and Josh Later, he had signed up, but he's not here. This is why if you're on a waiting list, make sure that you stay around because we actually got to the end of it. Everyone could have rocked out. Nonetheless, I appreciate all of y'all being here. Remember, this Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, La Bruja hosts the Thursday Night Online Open Mic. Make sure you check it out. Next Monday, we will be here. I know it's Memorial Day. So if you want to come rock with us, we will be here next Monday at 8 p.m. like we are every single Monday. And of course, for all the highlights and for all the information about future shows and about what we're going to do in the summer outside of New York. I'm excited when we get to do that. Make sure you're following me at Advocate of Words. When you spell words, that's with a Z at the end. You know, Poetic License, the Bronx. What, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. I'm just not on Tinder or TikTok. With that being said, every night we like to close out the night with a poem. The Good Night, Sweet Poet poem. And we have started a new tradition of having members from the community do it. Last week, we had Mary Blenderman, and now we are going to have my man, Elemental, close it out. With that being said, Elemental, the floor is yours, brother.
Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting the spirit of Miguel Agarin into your homes. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. He is the host with the most, Advocate of Words. I am Elemental. We are the Pandemic Poets. Until the next time, peace and blessings.